Hey guys, welcome to this special episode of Suits and Sports. And on behalf of Global Sports Policy Review, I would like to welcome our guest for today. He is a professional football player currently playing at Minnesota United FC of the Major League Soccer. It's Mr. DJ Taylor. Hey DJ, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. So, firstly, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It's indeed an honor to have you with us at this platform.
I'm the honored guy. I get to be on your guys' podcast and interact with you guys. It's great to connect with you guys.
So, BJ, what's the time in your in US?
Right now it's 9:40 a.m.
Okay, so we are in morning, and you started your weekend, and we are just ending our weekend. It's already 8 9 p.m. here, 8 past 9. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be going on. So yeah, first of all, I will be welcoming you personally to mine because you are such a reputed player. Because I have been followed MLS for certain period of time, and India, if you say MLS, normally people go for certain clubs and all. One of them famous is the LA Galaxy,
Mhm.
right? So when you say MLS is playing a vital role here, so hopefully also we have also a league, DJ, and hopefully we feel like we will also come in here in India to play that league also, Indian Super League. Hopefully you have heard about that. Maybe like some of the excess players are coming here. So I'm not telling you to come and join now. When you are completed your all things there, you can come back here and you can play the game.
Yeah, I think it would be a great experience. Honestly, I haven't been to that part of the world, but I definitely would love to.
Right. So I think we can start off with a question. So my first question to you is it's very general. So growing up in the United States, a lot of sports over there, like you have sports like basketball, baseball, and American football. So what inspired you to choose, and what inspired you to start playing football or soccer?
Um, Honestly, I don't know what inspired me to do it. All I know is my mom signed me up when I was like 6 years old to play. So obviously, like you said, in America, there's a lot of sports. So I grew up playing soccer or football, and then I started playing American football at the same time too. So I was playing both up to about sixth grade. And once I got to sixth grade, obviously I knew that I had to choose one or the other to pursue like by itself. And I guess I just chose football because I loved, watching it every Saturday morning, watching, Cristiano Ronaldo play and all these other players, who come from nothing and they work their way up, through the process. And that's kind of why I ended up choosing football. But my mom was glad because obviously with American football, there's so many head injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, I guess the main reason was just, watching it on TV, watching it how it connects people, from any level, even if you're just playing pickup, people just a ball and, four shoes and they make two goals and people can connect and play with each other.
DJ, I have a question for you. You just now mentioned your favorite player is Christian, right? And then how you come up to be a right back? He is a winger player and you are in right back. So how you became a right back in defense?
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting story. So I actually played like the number 10 or the striker until I was 16. And then when I turned 16, my coach said, like you can be a pretty good midfielder or you could be a really good outside back. And so he started playing me outside back, and I've played outside back since then. Obviously, I've been able to progress to the highest level in the US, so it's been a blessing. But yeah, that's kind of how it worked. Is I just transformed. I learned how to defend. Obviously, because I knew how to attack and all that stuff already. So I just taught myself how to defend, and obviously it worked out to the best. But yeah.
So another, like, it will be a very genuine question from my side. Like, even I think Ryan will be also enjoying the question. When I was going through your certain photos and all, so I found one of my favorite image, which was like you're putting your finger on your lips, right? So is this your celebration style, or like someone asked you to put the finger on your lips, like a pose of with the finger like this? So what is the story behind that?
I think for one, it's just a classic pose because you see other players do it. But I definitely think, when you're at an away game and there's tons of fans, and let's say you guys score like last minute and you just want to shush the crowd because they've been, the crowd doesn't say nice things to the away team most of the time. So, when you score, you gotta give them the little finger just so they can, quiet down if you guys win, you know what I mean?
Wow, that's actually really fun to know about. So, speaking in the same regard, could you like take us through your experience when you played your first game as a rookie in the Major League Soccer? What was the experience? What was the atmosphere like?
You're talking about MLS or at the professional level?
And the MLS, sorry.
Okay. Well, actually, at the MLS, I haven't debuted yet. This is my first season.
Oh, right. So in your
Yeah.
professional level then.
My professional level I was in Spain when I was 18 years old. I was in the city of Valencia playing at a club called Torre Levante. I was playing in the third division, Spanish third division, which was a pretty good division. Yeah, it was a whole new experience, obviously, because I left there when I was 17 from America, went to Spain. Didn't know any Spanish, so I had to learn. Luckily, I was able to get fluent within the 2 years I was there. But yeah, it was a great experience. I was playing against, players that played in La Liga, which is top division in Spain. They're older obviously, but it was a great experience just to train and like learn from them. And I was actually able to play a lot during my first year, rookie year, which was a blessing too. But it was a great experience to learn the whole new like culture of Spain and the Spanish style of football, compared to the American style of football. And obviously now I'm back at the highest level in America, so it's different. But yeah, I'm excited to get going here. So yeah.
So you just mentioned that you were in Spain. So it's happened to all of us when you go for a different country with a different language, right? When some people are a little bit afraid of move to that part, right? Because you have to speak a different language or Spanish or you can say German. So when you first moved there, so how you used to communicate with your friend? Because football is a team game. So you have to be communicate with your friend or like even in a match. So you can get the position a player is coming. So you have to call your friend, hey, took that guy took that. How you mentioned that thing, how you used to communicate with them?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, the first like couple of weeks, there was no communication because Valencia is not very touristy. It's not like Madrid or Barca. Madrid or Barca, there's people that speak English because they have a lot of tourists. So like the first 2 weeks, I went on trial. But I don't know anything the coach is saying or the players. So like I would watch the players do the drill, and then I would do it after, just based on what I saw them do. You know what I mean? So it was very tough the first 2 weeks. But I just worked hard. And then eventually, you learn like little words. Obviously, you learn like simple hola, but like soccer terms, you learn like izquierda, which is left, and derecha, which is right. So you learn like those little words that, that you can use on the field that are really important when you're playing. It's actually funny that you mentioned that. So I also had a bus driver who would drive me to training every day, and he didn't speak any English at all either. So I don't know how we communicated those first like 3 weeks. But eventually, obviously, as I learned Spanish, we actually got really close. The last year I was there.
That's really nice to hear about your experiences in Spain. So my other question to you is, this is a little different question. If you could play alongside another football player, who would it be?
Oof, that's a tough question. I think for sure Messi.
Messi. Okay.
As a player, it would definitely be Messi. If I could be coached by somebody, it would be Pep Guardiola. That would be amazing too. I think if I could, learn from somebody that played my position, would be Dani Alves. Yeah.
So I think the Barcelona team inspired you.
But DJ, that's wrong. You just now mentioned your favorite. You have seen Cristiano, but now you want to play with Messi. That's wrong. That's very wrong.
Yeah, I didn't. So I first was watching football. I would watch Manchester United when Cristiano was there, and one of my family friends, he liked Barcelona, and I'd never watched Barcelona before until they went to the Champions League final, where it was Manchester United against Barcelona. And then I saw Barcelona play and Messi, and I fell in love instantly. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I'd never seen him before, so it was like a learning experience. I think I also like Cristiano. I have very good respect for him, just the way that he grinded his way up through every level and the way he pushes himself. I think it's a good inspiration for kids. But I think if people usually ask the question, who's better, I think it's Messi for sure.
So, but if we ask you who is your favorite right back, So whom will you like? Who you want to convert yourself? So who will you choose?
I would choose Danny Alves. Danny
So
Alves for sure. I mean, he's not at like the highest level as he used to be, but I think another one I like so far is probably, I mean, there's a lot that are good now. Let's see.
no, you have to choose any one. You cannot go
Just
for two.
one?
You have to
Okay,
choose
well, I'll
any
stick
one.
with Danny Alves then. Danny Alves.
And then it's always should be one. No
Yeah,
two, no three.
Danny Alves for sure.
Hey, sir, I have another question. So if not if not soccer or football, which sport would you be playing?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if it's considered a sport, but I would think I would dance.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, I like to dance a lot. I get it from my mom. She likes to dance too, and people say I'm a very good dancer with like for out or something. So being like a backup dancer, like that'd be like on a tour with like a famous artist like Chris Brown or something, like that would be insane. So yeah, I would definitely would love to dance. Like if I didn't play football, I would definitely love to explore like what that would look like and stuff like that. But obviously I can't, because it's too physically demanding right now. But maybe it's something I do in the off season. I've taken a couple like choreography classes just to like practice, see what it's like. But yeah, I think dance would be fun. If you're talking like a real sport, maybe like I think I enjoy tennis. Tennis is fun. Tennis is fun to play when you're just out with friends and stuff. I'm too short to play basketball, so I can't do that one.
Now, I can imagine your celebration. It would be something related to dancing. Would it be your
Yeah,
goal celebration? Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So now we have a serious question for you. The
Okay.
serious question is, you have done something good range of study as well as you maintain your sportsmanship, right? So normally we have seen most of the students have a confusion, right? When they are going through the student phase of college and all. So how they can co up with this thing, like keeping a study also, like master study, management studies, as well as he can also go for these games and all. So people sometimes get confusion of that fact. So what's your time? Like we say it's mantra in India, right? So what's you say, like what would be your motivation factor to them, like to the student, if you are sitting in a classroom and you are giving a lecture, so what will you say to the students? See, you can maintain this both these things. So what will you say to them?
I think I would say, I mean, the way I've gotten, I think, to the point where I am now in life is because I always push myself and try to be better than I was the day before, or I would always push myself out of my comfort zone. And I think you can relate to that to any aspect of your life, whether you're playing a sport, working hard every day, pushing yourself, or you're in the classroom studying. There's no limit to what anybody can do. And I think people put limits on themselves, like, oh, I'm just like, for example, for me, people will say, oh, you're just a footballer. But it's like, no, I'm also a CEO of my clothing brand and I have a business. Don't limit yourself to just doing one thing that society says. So that's kind of the feedback I would give them and I also would say, like, most people are like, oh, I have to figure out what I want to do right now. Like, it's all on your timing. Take your time to figure out what you really want to do something you're passionate about. You don't want to be a person who's working the 9 to 5 job and is not passionate about what they're doing. So I think that's kind of like the 3 main points I would give to them.
Oh, that's really inspiring, actually, because a lot of us do contemplate and think whether we should, head towards the sports sector or, decide to focus on studies, and then people get confused. I have another question to you, so you can answer this the way you want to. So a lot of us do set goals, right? So I want to ask you, what is your goal in terms of your football career? Like, what is your dream? Like, do you have a dream destination or a dream stadium to walk into and play a game or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, dream for me is just to play at the highest level possible. So obviously I want to get back to Europe, obviously, because that's where the highest level is. It's good to play at the highest level in America, but for me, it's just a stepping stone of where I want to get to. I think any top league in England, Spain, or Germany, I think would be awesome. Especially if I could go back to Spain and play in La Liga, I think I would be fine. I'd play there till I retire. because Spain's so nice. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think for me, MLS is just a stepping stone. And hopefully I can work my way up to get back overseas. And if not, then I'll just continue to play at the highest level in America, which isn't bad either, you know? So
That's nice. So Brazil.
So I have one question for you. Like when you are in a like you are now a famous person and obviously you are a famous person in the world of MLS now, right? So when you are going out from your house, you are going somewhere, you are going to meet your friends. I can guarantee the fan will be there, will running behind you, right? Or stopping in front of a car, celebrating. So how do you treat this type of fans? Like asking for autograph? If you're not, so at least you have to do something. How you treat to these people?
no, I treat them well. You know, obviously people are very excited to see you, and you know, especially if you're with other players who are even more big time. But as long as they're not, you know, like obnoxious, you know, like getting too close, you know, like, you know what I mean? Man, usually that doesn't happen. There's only a few that are like that, but usually I'm very nice to them. You know, I give them, you know, autograph, or if they want a picture. You know, I firmly believe in like giving back to the community and remembering where you came from. And, you know, one of those days I was a kid, you know, running up to a player that I looked up to, you know, so I can't do the dishonor of not doing the same thing, you know, because somebody could have done it to me when I was a kid. So, like I said, I usually always give them a little autograph or picture. You know, all it takes is, you know, for you to take 2 seconds out of your day to make someone else's day, and that's what it's all about.
That's really sweet of you. I appreciate you for that. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's a great thing, great gesture actually. And so another question I have to ask you is, so right now you've stepped into another, another league, or so I wouldn't say another league, it's another, it's another milestone for you. So what do you see, like, what is the big difference that you see, like from the previous level of football you're playing and right now the level of football you're playing? What is the significant difference?
Yeah, so I think obviously at this level, everybody's, you know, fast, everybody's athletic, everybody's, you know, can play good with both feet, everybody can pass, everybody can shoot, the skill level has gone up a lot compared to the second division, which is where I was at the last like 3 seasons before. I also believe that you have less time, you know, the decision making is faster, you know, you have to play faster because you have players running at you faster. That's kind of the main difference to see, is that you just have to make decisions and play faster. And then obviously the mental aspect of the game is, you know, because it turns into kind of like chess, you know, how to find space, where space do you attack, which space do you, you know, defend. So I think it's kind of a mind game too as well, because you have to know what you're going to do with the ball before you even get it. And there's a lot of decisions you have to make on the fly that are really fast. So yeah, I think that's the main difference, is just that the level is faster. You don't have time to, you know, take a second to relax and breathe, you know, it's just going the whole time.
Wow.
Let's come to another question. Like this is the interesting fact. Even Ryan should be interested on this fact. So you have tattoos. We have seen you have many tattoos. So
Yeah.
is that just a design, or just something story you have engraved in your body?
No, it's for me, it was kind of like a form of expression. You know, I kind of knew I always wanted to get tattoos. So I just got them on my left arm. But all of them have a meaning to me, like a personal meaning to me. I'm very like spiritual as well, so you know, all mine are spiritual and have a spiritual meaning to me. And that's kind of where I got them. I started getting them actually when I was in Spain, when I was 18. Um, and luckily my mom wasn't too mad. But she said once you turn 18, you know, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, they all have a spiritual meaning to me. There's no way I could have just put something on my body that has no meaning to me. You know, that doesn't make any sense. You know, you see some people that do that in America, unfortunately, but yeah, for me, it's just like a form of expression, you know, and people ask about it, and I get a lot of compliments about it too. So I think it's kind of growing here. Obviously, people always say don't get them because, you know, one day I'm gonna have to retire, and being in the business world, you know, it's kind of like frowned upon. But I think now in the business world, it's growing that in our culture here, at least in America, that it's okay to have tattoos, and it's not like you're a criminal, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's still now it's in India. Like even Ryan is get a tattoo in his body. He have to do that like if until he's getting a, even after getting a job, he have to do it inside somewhere where he can hide from his mom or his dad, something like that.
Yeah, it takes a while for people to embrace, just kind of like the meaning behind getting tattoos. I think people just see what's on the outside and they're just like kind of scared, of people who have tattoos. But in reality, it's just a person trying to show a form of expression. It's art at the same time. So hopefully people will eventually learn that over there too.
DJ, I have another thing for you. Like you are in professional mode now, right? So how is the daily life goes on? Like wake up morning 4 o'clock, running, which we see normally, which we see like see what we see in the advertisement. For example, in advertisement on Nike, and we see athletics walking up morning 4, then he's running, then he's coming back at night 11,
Yeah.
sleeping again running. So is the same thing happen with the professional players? Because you are the right person who can explain us this fact. Because obviously people live in dream zone, right? Nike giving ads, so obviously it goes like that. So
Yeah.
we want from your mouth, what's the real story? How
Yes.
professional deal?
So our schedule here is, well, I wake up at probably 7:45, and then I carpool with some of my teammates that live close to me to training. So we either leave at 8:15 or 8:30. So I'll wake up, shower, relax, make coffee, have some water, and then we'll carpool to training. And then we'll have breakfast there at training with the teammates and stuff. So luckily we're blessed to have, people make us food there. So, usually I eat 2 over easy eggs with 2 chicken sausage and English muffin with jelly. That's what I usually eat every morning, with some fruit. And then after we eat, obviously we go to our locker, we change, and then we have to start our activation at around like 10 a.m. And then we go out to train for, let's say, usually it's like an hour and a half. So after that, we shower, obviously, and then eat lunch, because we're blessed to have people make us lunch as well. So we eat lunch there at the facility too. And then usually, depending on the day, we have a lifting session after our soccer session. So we go to the gym and we lift. So usually that's around like, depending on when we finish, like 1-ish, maybe 12:30. And then I go home. And then after that, I just relax. Obviously I have my business, so I meet with my guys. I meet with my team once a week to talk about everything and keep it going. And other than that, I'm just networking or exploring other hobbies that I want to do. I actually just bought a DJ board like 2 days ago. So I've been trying to teach myself how to DJ for a little bit. Or I'll play the PlayStation 5, so yeah, that's kind of like the daily life is, you just wake up, you train, you work hard that day, you lift after that, and then you go home, and then you're resting after that because, you're tired from working your butt off all morning. And then you do that same routine the whole season, and then until you have game. And then when you have games, you gotta, fly out Friday night, fly out to your whatever city. If it's an away game, you got to fly out Friday after training, stay there the night, and then fly back Saturday night after the game. Usually you have Sunday off, and then back at it every week.
Right. DJ, so just now you mentioned you played PS5, right? So now I have two questions for you.
Okay.
One is, have you ever played with your own image in the PS5? Like, and second question is, have you ever Googled yourself?
Googled myself?
Yeah.
No, actually, I didn't. Actually, I did the other day because I found out that so I guess I met up with a friend, and she said that she looked up my Wikipedia. So I said, what? There's a Wikipedia page? And so I looked up what the Wikipedia said, page to see like what if it was accurate and stuff like that. So that was the only time I really like looked up myself, I guess. And then yeah, I played FIFA with myself. So that was, kind of a crazy thing to look at. It was kind of exciting, because to say like, I finally made it to MLS, so I was able to get in the game. So it was kind of a cool accomplishment, to finally see. And obviously my friends get to play with me, so that's cool for them too.
So DJ, which DJ play better, the FIFA one or the real one?
Definitely the real one. There's definitely guys on the team that are better than me that are very good at FIFA, and I know a couple of old teammates that are very good at FIFA that play in tournaments and for money and stuff. But I still say out good. I'm not terrible.
I was actually going to ask the same question in regard with that because it actually struck me. So I have another question. So when you're playing at a very professional level, especially you're a defender, so you're like involved in a lot of tackling and especially fouling. So obviously there are times when your temper goes very high. So I'm saying, how do you maintain that composure and aggression on field?
Yeah, I think well, one for one, I get it from my mom. Luckily, she's very calm person, so it takes a lot to make us mad. So I'm kind of the same way. It takes a lot for me to get mad, which obviously is a blessing, from any relationship standpoint. But yeah, obviously in football, it's so passionate that your temper does flare. But I think as a defender, you have to remember that, if you get a yellow card or, after you get a yellow card, then you have to be careful because if you get another one, you're going to hurt your team. And then obviously if you get a straight red, which I've never gotten a straight red card, but, that's dangerous, one, to the other player. And two, it's always in the back of your head that, your team's going to lose a guy and it's going to be on your fault for your team losing a man. And usually the team that loses a man is the one who's going to lose the game. So I think that's kind of like the main thing that's in the back of the head of a defender. Is always that, you can't really risk losing a defender. It's okay, if you kind of lose a striker or forward because you can replace them. But yeah, there are times though, like you said, I think it happens more in training where players will lose their temper, depending on, if they're not playing or something else or other stuff. And that's kind of like behind the scenes stuff that people and fans don't see is like the camaraderie between us, because some days we really go at each other and some days it's not pretty. But as long as, at the end of the day, you guys are both men. So, you just talk to each other after training if you need to and keep working.
Wow. I have another question. Okay, Subhrajit, sir, you can ask.
So DJ, I have a question for what is the craziest thing you have done in your own dressing? What is the craziest prank you have done with your own teammate?
With my teammate, the craziest prank? Let's see. I think at my other club in North Carolina at home, it was his birthday. So we stuffed his car with popcorn. We stuffed his whole car with popcorn. So after training, he came out and it was just all popcorn in his car. and then he had to clean it out.
That's a trend I've noticed in the US, especially. They stuff the car with popcorn.
Yeah.
And they do it to a lot of rookies, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Or another thing is like, like if we're just walking to training and they leave their door, if someone doesn't like lock their car, because usually at my other club, you would walk past the cars. If someone doesn't lock their car, we like open all their doors and their trunk and like just leave it open while we're at training and pull their windshield wipers up. So there's just little stuff like that. That's funny.
Oh. So I have another question. So like you were talking about chemistry. I'm sorry, in regard with chemistry, you keep switching teammates from time to time, right? Obviously, like you play at college level, and then you like you said, you played in Spain, and then you came here. So how does it like how quickly does chemistry build with another team member?
I think it builds fast depending on who the teammates are and stuff and who they are as a person. But I think once you're out there, obviously like me coming here to Minneapolis, my first season with this team, I've met all the guys. All the guys are good guys. They treat me well, so I think I've connected really well with these guys. And so I think you develop fast because you're out there every day, obviously first day, I don't even know anyone, but I'm meeting people, I'm saying hi, I'm learning their names. And from that point on, let's get to know each other and let's keep going, because the faster you learn your teammates, the more, better you guys are going to get together. And kind of football kind of pushes you to do that with your, training every day. But that's where the chemistry develops, is in that grind every single day together.
So another thing I actually wanted to ask you is, what was your feeling when you saw that you got a verified profile on Instagram? Because I've always noticed people with a verified profile. I want to ask you, what did it feel like to be among the elites of Instagram?
I mean, it was definitely cool. So I had been trying to get it for the last like 2 years while I was at my other club at North Carolina. But yeah, I think it was definitely cool. I think it's just, just cool for my friends to see, like, they're like, oh, like I'm friends with, or like, the people that are in my close circle are like, oh yeah, I'm best friends with the guy who's, official is what they call it and stuff like that. I think also obviously in America, they kind of glamorize it too much. Because you don't want to create, false idols, but yeah, it was definitely a cool experience to finally get it. And then hopefully try and help others get it as well. With the Instagram algorithms and stuff like that.
Definitely, it would have been a different experience. So I have another question. So since you've been a professional player all your life, you've obviously been away from home. So how difficult it is actually, from a mental perspective when you're away from home? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think it's very difficult. I've talked to a lot of kids that are trying to make that jump before. And I always tell them, they go, for like 2 weeks before they actually go for a long time, because that's what I did. I went for 2 weeks while I was still in high school, just to see what it was like, and it was an eye-opening experience because I was so homesick just for those 2 weeks. And I got to see the level of, training and like where I needed to be at, but I think that 2 weeks after you go for like, you get a little taste of what it's like, you really figure out as a person who you are and is it really what you want to do? Because after that I said, you know what, like, okay, I'm going to train hard these next 6 months before I leave for real. And I know the level I need to get to, and I know what kind of level I need to mature to as a person, can't be just a 17-year-old kid coming out of high school. I have to mature into an 18-year-old adult who's living on his own. So, yeah, I think a lot of it just comes with maturity and just embracing the process, embracing the struggle, and honestly, I think I enjoy, like I said, pushing myself out of the comfort zone. So I definitely recommend it for the future generations to do it, because you'll find, if anything, you'll find out more about yourself than anything. So.
Well said. So we're actually running short of time. So actually, I didn't realize time passed so fast. So is there any concluding remarks that you would like to give to everyone out there?
Yeah, just my main slogan is turn your dreams into a reality. So whatever that is, whether it's in sports, whether you're studying, like I said, there's no limits. And the main thing that got me to where I am today is just always pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I think there's growth in pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and there's growth in adversity. So also there's no limits on what anybody can do out here. And don't listen to what people say or what society says. Just do your own thing and enjoy life. At the end of the day, that's all we got to do.
Thank you so much, sir. Subhrajit sir, would you like to?
Thank you, DJ, for first of all, thank you, DJ, for this very fast moving time, and we came to suddenly we came to know, oh, time is going. There's so less of time is going to over, because like the way we have discussed here, many things like the funny thing, how you prank your tattoos, and how you deal with the fact. It was very funny, and even we came to you want to be a dancer like Chris Brown, so something like, oh, DJ want to be a dancer, not a football. So it was really funny thing to know. And yeah, of course we will be in touch, and by the team of GSPR, we are like Global Sports Policy, we call it GSPR in short. So by the team of GSPR, we are very grateful to you giving your time, also that in the weekend and before your friend goes for a match and you have came here. So we are really grateful for that. Hopefully we will meet soon. And we hopefully also we are asking for God to come to India and play for us also for some club in Indian Super League.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It was a blessing to connect with you guys on here, and yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. I'll keep you guys active on the socials too.
So once again, a big thank you to Mr. DJ Taylor for joining us. And once again, on behalf of Global Sports Policy Review, I would like to officially thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And DJ, could you like give us a celebration as we end? Something.
Celebration? There you go.
Thank you so much. See you guys. Stay safe.
Okay.